Hello lovelies, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I'm Nyx, and this is the space where we explore the energetic and cosmic patterns moving through our lives so that we can navigate them with more awareness, more intention, and a whole lot more self-trust. Now, today we're going to be diving into the energy of Taurus season, but before we do, I kind of just want to briefly mention like what I experienced this morning. I was on my usual morning walk with my dog, just moving, clearing my mind as I always do, and out of nowhere, completely unprompted, the song Somewhere Over the Rainbow started playing in my mind quite loudly. When something like that arrives, just randomly like that, I always pay attention. And honestly, if I'm being honest, it's never really random, right? Anywho, when I got in, I looked it up, and the meaning behind the song was that of hope, of optimism, of yearning for something better, something more peaceful, beyond whatever it is you're currently moving through. And I thought to myself, maybe that's what the energy of Taurus season is, right? Maybe that's what Taurus season is going to hold for us. See, a lot of us are sitting in something very uncomfortable, maybe even unexplainable with words, not knowing what's coming next or if there's even a way out. Yet, something in all of that, there's still this quiet, persistent part that hasn't really let go of what it wants. So, to me, that's kind of like the rainbow, not as a destination, but as the belief in one. Having said that, we are going to talk about the archetype of Taurus, explore the current cosmic climate surrounding the season, and then we will dive into the cards to see what guidance wants to come through collectively as we step into the next chapter. If you do not want to hear this part, I will put a timestamp somewhere on the screen so you know to just move on forward. Now, as always, before we begin, let's take time to just ground ourselves for a few seconds. Okay, so please take a nice deep breath in. And exhale when you're ready. Another slow deep breath in. And slowly breathe it out. Now, as we move through this reading, I open this space with intention that whatever comes through today serves the highest good of everybody listening, bringing clarity, insight, and alignment exactly where it's needed. Beautiful. One more breath in. And exhale when you're ready. All right, so Taurus. Taurus is the second sign of the zodiac. And if Aries is the spark, the ignition, that bold first move, then Taurus is coming in after that spark catches. It's the energy that says, okay, now what are we building like actually? Taurus is ruled by Venus, the planet of beauty, pleasure, value, and love. And because of that, Taurus kind of gets a bad reputation for being indulgent, comfort seeking, maybe even a little lazy, but that's kind of like a surface read here. At its core, Taurus is a powerful archetype within the zodiacs. It is the energy of the builder, the one who doesn't just dream it, they construct it brick by brick, layer by layer, with patience and intention, and a very refined sense of what is actually worth its time and energy. Now, because that's essentially the thing about Taurus that people don't really always talk about. Well, not the thing, but there is this thing. Taurus is picky, but not in a precious or difficult way. It's more of like a discerning way. Taurus is the archetype knows its own value. It knows what it likes, it knows what it's willing to invest in and what it's not willing to invest in. And it will not be rushed into something that doesn't meet its standards, so to speak. So there's that. And then there's also this like very regal quality to this energy, a slowness that isn't laziness, it's deliberateness. It's the difference between moving fast and moving right. Now, Taurus also experiences the world almost entirely through senses. So think touch, taste, sound, smell, beauty. This is an embodied archetype grounded in the physical, present in the body, which after everything we've been moving through energetically, the deep emotional processing of Pisces, the activation of Aries, this season is almost like a permission slip to kind of land back in the body and get grounded again, to feel your feet on the ground again. Now, like every archetype, Taurus does carry its shadows, right? We know about the Taurus stubbornness. It is real. Blue is red. One is 10. Okay. When Taurus energy becomes unbalanced, it can show up as rigidity, refusing to move, refusing to change, clinging to comfort even when comfort has become a cage. There's also the shadow of overindulgence, of equating material security with emotional security, of staying in something past its expiration date simply because it's familiar. The shadow of Taurus isn't laziness, it's resistance. The kind that is disguised, it's that has disguised itself as patience. So the medicine this season isn't just slowing down, it's slowing down with purpose. It's pausing to get clear, to get honest, to get precise about what you're actually building, and then committing to it with essentially everything you have. Okay, Taurus doesn't half ass things. And I feel like Taurus season is asking you not to either. Now, let's talk about the bigger cosmic climate surrounding Taurus season, right? Because there are some generally significant shifts happening right now. And I mean, significante. I think the biggest one, the one that's kind of setting the tone for everything else, is Uranus leaving Taurus for the first time in quite some time. Let me pull up my notes. I'll be back. I forgot my laptop. Top secured. I thought I had it with me. Oopsie. All right, let's just dive right in. All right, so yes, Uranus has been in Taurus for quite some time. It entered Taurus back in 2018 and has been moving through that sign ever since, okay? And if you know anything about Uranus, you know that this is a planet of disruption, awakening, and sudden unexpected change. It shakes things up. It dismantles what has been stagnant. It forces evolution, whether you ask for it or not. So, for the past several years, Taurus energy, which craves stability, groundedness, and security, has been under almost constant renovation. Okay. Things that felt solid got shaken, values got questioned, the way people relate to money and their bodies, to their sense of safety in the world, all that has been in the process of restructuring. Now, almost 2 days before the sun moves into Taurus, we do have a new moon in Aries on April 17th. Now, we know new moons are all about new beginnings, fresh intentions, clean slates, but having a new moon in Aries sitting right at the threshold of Taurus season almost feels like the universe giving you that final moment to get clear before you start building things. It's not about delays or anything like that. Think of it more as a preparation. And this kind of has been coming up a lot in conversations between me and some trusted people. Like it feels like the energy right now is like, we gotta get real, we gotta get serious, we gotta get focused, or we're going to miss the window of opportunity to work with the energy that is moving and circulating all around us. So, set the intention, surrender what you're still gripping to from the last chapter, okay? And then step into Taurus season with your hands wide open. Gimme, gimme, gimme. Um, and for those of you who want to go deeper, there is going to be a second new moon coming May 16th. Now, this time it's going to be in Taurus itself. So, right at the heart of the season, a second invitation to recommit to what you are building. Now, two new moons are bookend this season. It feels like every single month we're having a new moon at the threshold of every turnover. That's the cosmos essentially not being subtle, okay? On April 25th of this year, Uranus finally does move into Gemini, completing its journey through Taurus. What that means energetically is significant, okay? The renovation period is over. You've been adapting, responding, recalibrating for some years now. And now the energy is shifting from reacting to change to building something new. There's a collective exhale. Thank you. Available for right now for anyone who has felt like the ground hasn't fully been stable beneath their feet for quite some time. It is stabilizing. Okay. Um, this is also why Taurus season this year, 2026, carries this particular quality of, okay, for real now, like, let's get it, let's build, let's do this work. You know what I mean? Anyways, layered on top of this, we're still feeling the ripple of the Saturn Neptune conjunction at 0 degrees in Aries that we talked about last season. Saturn, structure, responsibility, the material world, meeting Neptune, dreams, intuition, spiritual vision, right? That meeting asks us to stop merely imagining the life that we want and start laying out an actual foundation for it, okay? Taurus season comes in as the follow through. Now we also have Chiron entering Taurus later this season, the wounded healer moving into its earth sign, sorry, highlighting healing that's available around self-worth, security, and the body. That's coming and will feel the approach, most of us, if not already feeling it before this even arrives, right? Now, underneath all of this, we still have Pluto continuing its long journey through Aquarius, that slow, deep transformation of collective systems, power structures, and the way we understand community and the future. So when you take this step back, what did I do? When you take the step back and you look at the bigger picture, we're in a moment of transition from disruption to construction, okay? From the spark to the build, from the question to the answer. So Taurus season is the energetic invitation to plant something real, to stop circling the dream and start putting your hands into that soil. Okay? All right, now with that said, let's flip the camera and turn to the cards. Alrighty, so with that cosmic backdrop in mind, let's move into the cards and see what guidance wants to come through for us collectively during Taurus season. Now, as always, this is a collective reading, so please take what resonates, leave what doesn't, and trust your own intuition as you listen. And again, as always, I invite you to observe the cards with me, taking the imagery, the colors, the symbols, even what you may feel in your body as I move through the reading, okay? Sometimes you guys pick up on things that I might not, and if something does land for you, share it in the comments. I genuinely love hearing what you do pick up on all on your own, okay? Now, before we dive all the way in, just a reminder of the layout here. First row is going to speak to the internal landscape, the deeper energetic themes, the mindset, and the emotional patterns we're navigating beneath the surface, okay? Second row here is going to speak to how these energies may begin to show up in our physical reality. So think choices, opportunities, circumstances, anything along those lines. The third row, this is going to speak to the spiritual layer, the guidance and the support available to us as we move through Taurus season. And then I will pull from here the integration card where the cosmic and the intuitive land into something that you can actually work with. And as always, I will either pull from my affirmations deck or pull a message out of my little message bowl here to leave you with either a self-care tip or a message, affirmation, something that you can carry with you during Taurus season, okay? Now, with that said, let's dive right in. Okay, so here we have Wish Upon a Star. Now, let's just take a look at the image here. So we have this adorable little girl and she's holding this golden star. She's not reaching for it, she's not chasing it, she's holding it. She's hugging it tight to her chest. Eyes closed like she's suspended in the moment of the wish itself or like she's inside the dream. And the colors here are very intentional. One side we have blues with some soft greens in there. That's giving me heart chakra, throat chakra, expression, expansion. And on the other side here, we've got like the deep plummy purples. That's like third eye crown. That's intuition and divine guidance. There's almost a line of demarcation that you could see going through the center of the card, kind of giving off like a yin and yang vibe. But this one feels less like opposing forces and more like certainty meeting the unknown, or vision finally meeting the voice to speak it, okay? Now, around her torso, we have what looks like wings to me. That's like the dream she's holding on to is being protected and held sacred. Now, finished off, we see some flower petals floating about here. This is giving me the feeling like she's already receiving her flowers, like the gift is already in motion. So, what this card is essentially telling me is that a lot of us are carrying a vision, a wish, a dream that has been with us for a while now. And Taurus season, this slow, deliberate, embodied season, is asking you to stop holding it at arm's length and actually be with it. Not just think about it, but like feel it. Um, what we know about visualization is when you genuinely daydream about your goals, when you let yourself sit inside the vision, your frequency naturally starts to rise. You start feeling the energy of what you're calling in, sometimes even without trying. And then that specific feeling, that's not wishful thinking, that's alignment in motion. But I do have to get a little clear here. It's important to get specific. Okay. Some of you are navigating multiple dreams, fighting for attention at once, and that energy isn't scattered, it's unfocused. Taurus is asking you to slow down enough to start piecing the puzzle together, to focus the vision, and let it become real inside of you before expecting it to become real around you. And just one last thing before we move on, we are not given our wishes by mistake, okay? These visions, these persistent dreams that won't leave you alone, these are not accidents. In my understanding, they're like breadcrumbs gifted to us by our guides, our ancestors, our higher selves, because a version of us has already walked this path and now they're just trying to show us the way. So if you're wondering if you should hold on or let go, this card is saying to hold on, but be clear first, okay? Sometimes the dreaming is the most important part of the action. So spend time with the wish, let it land in you, let it resonate, and then make the move, okay? Next, we have the uncharted sea. Now, right out the gate, I'm hearing navigated uncharted waters. Are we? Yes. Yes, a lot of us are. Now, when you look at this image here, you have clear blue skies, but then you see like this hint of lavender or lilac, that soft intuitive energy. And then below we have the darker, murkier, deep blue water. The ocean is in motion and you can see it moving. This could be speaking to deeply rooted emotions or the type of terrain we are potentially moving through. Honestly, I think it could be a bit of both. Now, in the water here, we see this compass, and on the water, we see a boat with this golden sail. And at the tip of the sail, there is this golden star, which kind of echoes the first card. And at the bow of the boat, we have this pelican with golden feathers, looking like it knows exactly where it's going, actually. Now, the dark water isn't a warning, okay? It's the unknown. And the golden sail and the golden bird, that's the part of you that still has conviction, even when you can't see the bottom here. Now, I've been noticing a pattern in my own life, in client sessions, in conversations with people I trust. So many of us right now are navigating the in between. I talked about it in my Aries season reading. I even created a meditation around it because this in between energy is so prominent right now. This is the space between where we were and where we're going, where you can't see what's beneath the fog, where you don't know if the ground underneath is solid or not, right? And here's what I kind of want to reiterate about that. The in between isn't empty. It is full. It's where the real work happens. It's the healing. It's the self development, the expansion, the emotional awareness, the clarifying of what you actually want and how to get there. It's uncomfortable because it's active, not because nothing is happening. Aries season sparked the movement. It said, get going, even if you can't see the whole path. Now, Taurus season is saying, okay, now that you're moving, now it's time to get intentional about the actual direction that you're going in. The pelican on the boat isn't panicking, it's leading. And your navigation tool through these waters isn't a map because there isn't one, right? It's the clarity of your vision and the trust in your own intuition, okay? So you're still going to be stepping into the unknown, beloveds. I'm sorry, but that's just what we got to do. That's the part that doesn't change, but you do get to do it with more groundedness now, more precision. That's the Taurus energy. Move beyond your comfort zone, not because you have to, but because you know what's waiting on the other side. What's waiting on the other side of it is worth more than what's waiting inside of it, okay? And have faith in the ebb, the pauses, the fog, the in between. It has nothing to do with being failure or moving too slow. It's simply just it's the process of the crossing, okay? Now, up next we have in perfect harmony. I just want to note the energy of this card is completely visually, like a completely different visual shift from the previous two, where these two were darker and moodier, more oceanic. This is full of purples, pinks, lavender, and rose. It's soft, it's elevated, like the energy is just lifted just by turning it over. Now we have a French horn here at the center, and obviously coming out of it, we've got music notes floating about, moving freely, and once again, we've got flower petals drifting about, which speaks again to the first card here. Music is harmony, sometimes being expressed, released, played. So what I'm getting is the first card asks you to get clear on your vision. The second card acknowledged you're still navigating uncertain territory. And now this card is asking, but are you actually moving toward harmony, or are you just hoping it arrives? Because harmony isn't passive. It requires awareness, right? It requires honesty. It requires you to look at the stories you're telling yourself, the old beliefs, the previous hurts, the patterns you've been protecting yourself with, and ask whether those things are actually keeping you safe or if they're keeping you stuck. Are you wanting that opportunity, but already expecting to be told no? Are you wanting that connection, but already bracing for it to fall apart? Are you holding a vision, but quietly waiting for it to prove you wrong? Okay. Taurus is asking you to do a real audit here. um, Not from a place of self criticism, from a place of radical honesty. Emotions that I spoke to earlier, they are going to surface during the season, and they will surface with some spice for some of us. But they aren't coming up to destabilize you. They're coming up because the path through the uncharted waters requires you to meet yourself honestly, to face what you've been carrying, to ask yourself whether the emotional weight you're holding is yours to keep or yours to finally put down. And on the other side of that honesty, harmony, real harmony, not the performance of it, the actual thing, aligned goals, aligned connections, aligned energy. This is what's available to you, but you have to be willing to walk through yourself to get there, through yourself, not around yourself. Okay? Now, let's go here. All right. So the first card from this row is dice. I kind of love this image. See, you've got this big old windshield, open road, blue skies ahead, and hanging from the rear view mirror, if you notice it's dark, but hanging from there, you've got these bold, hot pink dice, both showing the number 4. Now, some of you are going to be presented with the opportunity to bet on yourself. And some of you, you are the opportunity creator. You're the one who has to decide to take the chance. For others, the opportunity is going to come to you, but it's going to ask you to choose between something familiar that provides a sense of comfort, maybe a false sense of security, and something that actually aligns with where you are trying to go. Okay? The people who are willing to bet on themselves right now, those are the ones who are going to reach their desired destination. Again, those willing to bet on themselves right now, you are the ones that are going to reach your desired destination. I saw something the other day that stopped me in my tracks. It said, most people don't realize this. You either have a plan for your life or you play the role in someone else's life. Now, I've heard many different phrases like that. So just let that land because there's so much truth behind it. You can spend your whole life showing up for other people's visions while your own dream sits quietly waiting, slowly losing its light. And I don't say that to shame anyone. I say it because I've lived it. I am someone who likes calculated risks. I like to weigh every single option before I move, and that honestly has cost me opportunities I genuinely wanted. So from experience, make the plan, have the vision, make the plan, and then act on it, okay? Because planning without action is just comfortable procrastination dressed up as productivity. And Taurus season is asking you to be honest about which one you're doing. Sit in the pause, get clear, then make the choice. Bet on yourself and move forward, okay? The windshield is bigger than the rear view for a reason. Bars. I'd be funny sometimes, okay? Okay, so the second card from this row is Butterfly, Metamorphosis. Now, as we see here, we have the butterfly's wings fully spread and they're resting on a large green leaf. This card is like confirmation that this season is an opportunity for real evolution, not surface level change, a genuine shift in how you show up for yourself, in your work, in your relationships, in your own mind, okay? Like the monarch butterfly of all butterflies, this one is known for the longest journey. So I want to be really specific on what I just said, like what it means, because evolution isn't about doing away with who you are. It's about growing up the parts of you that are still running, um, an old program. If you are of the avoidant nature, start facing your stuff, okay? If you have a pattern of self sabotage, start holding yourself accountable to it. If you've been careless with your energy, your relationships, then it's time to start taking responsibility, okay? Not just in the big areas, in the daily ones too. No matter what you're building, a career, a relationship, a version of self, you you actually respect, it requires an evolved version of you to hold it, okay? An evolved mindset, an evolved habits, an evolved approach to how you show up when things get uncomfortable. New levels really do bring new challenges. And some of us like to say, new levels, new devils, right? And those challenges are specifically designed to call forward the parts of you that you haven't grown yet. That's not punishment. It's just a part of the process. It's a part of the path, the journey that you were walking. Remember, the butterfly didn't fight the cocoon. It trusted the process. So trust the process. Okay. Then here we have the labyrinth. I feel this one. So here in the labyrinth, it's circular. We've got two silver marbles, one near the center and one near the edge. And then behind it, you see this kind of like faded green labyrinth. Now, what this is telling me is that some of you are at the beginning of the journey right now. Everything feels new, exciting, maybe a little terrifying, but hold on to that. The curiosity, the aliveness of not knowing yet. Let go of the pressure, though, to have it all figured out. There's no wrong way to move through this if you do it with intention and integrity. Now, for those of you who are deep in it, okay, elbows deep, you know who you are. You've been in this labyrinth for a while. You are tired. You can't see the end. The walls have hit hard, and some of them have hit more than once. And honestly, it's made you question everything, your faith, your direction, whether any of this is actually worth it. I need to say this to you directly, okay? Please keep going. A breath at a time, a step at a time, a moment at a time. That is genuinely all that's being asked of you right now, because the truth about labyrinths is, it will bring you back to the same looking place more than once. It will feel like you're going in circles, but you are never actually the same person who stood in that spot before. Every time you return somewhere that looks familiar, you're meeting it from a different version of yourself, one that has more awareness, more depth, more capacity than the last time, okay? And this path, wherever you are on it, it's leading you somewhere real, a pivotal moment, a genuine life change, something that matters. So don't stop now, okay? Don't stop now. Now, all right, so we'll go with these. We'll go with these two. We have shift and we have trust. Okay, so we'll go with, oopsie. So here, no, I'm being pulled towards trust first. So we'll go with trust first. It's simple, it's direct, and it lands exactly where it needs to, okay? We're being asked to step into the unknown. All will not be revealed right now. Not everything is meant to be seen in advance. Trust is the unseen forces that you are essentially working with, okay? But before you can trust what's coming in from your guides, the universe, from whatever spiritual support looks like to you, you have to trust yourself first, because we are in the unknown right now. And the noise is loud. It is very, very easy to let other people's methods, other people's timelines, other people's beliefs about what is possible start to override what you actually know to be true. So when you get quiet, when you actually sit with yourself and listen to your own energy, you will not steer yourself wrong. It's not arrogance, it's alignment. It's the moment it's the moment when we override our own knowing that we end up in the murky water, confused about how we got here. So trust yourself and let that foundation from which you trust everything else. Okay, let that be the foundation. Words hard, sorry. Then here we have the shift. Now this card carries rune dagas from the oldest form of the runic alphabet. I believe it means breakthrough, or dawn. It is the rune of awakening, of fulfillment, of rebirth, of light. Now, the message from this card is essentially miracles, divine intervention, the end of stagnation, a welcomed change, an answer that has been sought is arriving. Um, so hear it in the context of everything that we've just moved through in this reading, okay? Again, get clear on the vision, navigate the unknown, face yourself honestly, bet on yourself, keep walking the labyrinth, trust the process. Trust the process, okay? Because what you want is on the other side of this. That's what this card essentially is confirming. Not a promise that nothing will be hard, but as a reminder that the movement you've been doing, the healing, the showing up, even when it's uncomfortable, it's working. Okay. Even when you can't see it yet, even when the evidence hasn't fully arrived, this card is the dawn. The dawn and the dawn only comes after the dark. So don't let life drag you. Don't let it dog walk you. Don't let it mollywop you. You live your life by being an active participant in it. The shift you desire requires you to keep moving too, okay? Now, lastly, oopsie. Okay, we'll go with. We've got gratitude. Now, before you roll your eyes, because I know, gratitude as a concept has been so overused, it can feel hollow at this point. It can feel like spiritual bypass, like someone telling you to just be thankful when your whole world feels like it's falling apart. So let me be real about gratitude in this context, okay? Gratitude is hard when it feels like your efforts aren't being met with visible progress. When it feels like the universe keeps testing you. When you've waved the white flag more than once and you're running low on fight. In those moments, gratitude isn't about pretending that everything is fine, okay? It's about finding that one thing, and I mean small. Oh, so tiny that still has light in it, and choosing to put your attention there, not to bypass the hard stuff, but to keep the channel open, okay? To keep the frequency from dropping so low that you can't feel your own way forward anymore. Because, what I know about gratitude on an energetic standpoint, it shifts you on a cellular level, not just an energetic one. That small spark of recognition that this is still here, this still matters, this is still good, it reignites something inside. It restores a thread of faith when everything feels frayed. Okay? And faith is what keeps you moving through the labyrinth when you can't see the end. But gratitude is the light that you essentially carry. Okay? So I'm actually going to pull from here. Okay, you came out, so we'll go with you. So today I'm pulling the final message from what I'm going to start calling the message bowl. You're either going to get a message, like I said, or a self-care tip, or both. So just take with you whatever. So we have, abundance planning. So take an honest look at your resources and your relationship with them. Review your finances this month. Every dollar. Adjust one habit that strengthens your ability. Security grows when belief meets structure. Act from belief, not fear. Love that for you. Now, as we zoom out and look at the whole picture that came through today, Taurus season is not here to slow you down. It is here to make sure that what you're building is actually worth what it's going to cost you to build it. Okay? Aries got you moving. Taurus is asking you to get precise. So again, pause with the vision. Feel it, speak it, let it become real inside of you. Navigate the unknown with trust instead of fear. Face what surfaces with honesty instead of avoidance. Bet on yourself. Keep walking even when the labyrinth looks the same as it did the last time. Trust the shift that's already in motion. And in the moments when you feel like it's all just too much, find that one small thing to be grateful for, just one, and let that be enough to take you to the next step. Now, on my walk this morning, I mentioned earlier, somewhere over the rainbow showed up uninvited and would not leave my noggin. And I've been thinking about it ever since, especially during this reading, because the song isn't about destination. It's about the part of you that still believes the destination exists, even when the clouds are thick, even when you're tired, even when you can't see past what's right in front of you. That's belief. That's the rainbow. And Taurus season is the crossing. So trust the ground beneath your feet, move with intention, build with care, and do not let go of that precious wish of yours, okay? With that said, happy birthday to every gorgeous, grounded, fiercely loyal Taurus out there. May we all borrow a little of your steadiness this season. Thank you so much for being with me today. I will see you beautiful souls next time. Bye.